Great. So I think we're live now. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to a new Teach Me Live webinar, a live show where we're trying to teach the social media professionals and show them real life agency examples from real life agencies. Thanks everyone for being with us. I know it's a little bit earlier than our usual hour, but we have a different time zone for now. In case you are watching this video later, you can still ask questions here and I will reply to each of them. Today I have with me Akshay Nagarkar, Senior Associate Digital Strategic at Only Much Louder. Akshay did his Master of Engineering at VLSI, an embedded system, while while he developed an interest for social media and social media marketing. He working as a growth hacker for a few startups before joining to Only Much Louder, and he has spent more than 1 million US dollar with great ROI. He has been part of various campaigns, influencer campaign and research, which brought him today because the subject for today is how to track influencers campaigns. So Akshay, welcome.
Thank you, Elena.
Before jumping into the subject for this Teach Me Live show, I'm going to share with you some housekeeping notes for today. We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Come and say hello to us. It will take up to 30 minutes, and you can ask Akshay questions about influencer campaigns tracking and get from here real examples from the agencies, from the agency. So, as I mentioned before, the subject for today is how to track influencers' campaigns. We'll talk about metrics, we'll talk about reports, how to choose the right metrics, how to choose the right influencer for your brand. Before to jumping into the subject, I would let Akshay to share something about his work at Only Much Louder. And Akshay, tell us more about you.
Myself, I'm Akshay, and I work at Only Much Louder. Only Much Louder is an artist management company here in India. We manage around 60 biggest stand-up comedians in India today. We manage around 20 to 30 YouTubers, creators. We also manage directors, actors, writers. We produce a lot of web series for OTT platforms. There is no big OTT platform in India today which doesn't have content produced by us. We also produce the happiest music festival in India, that is the uh, NS7 Weekender. We also produce various IPs, which like the Coalition, like the Bizzle Vivid Shuffle, which gather a huge amount of crowd in India, and we celebrate being alive, I guess. So so that is basically what Only Much Louder does. We influence the pop culture in India today. So we also produce worldwide comedy shows. We produce more than, I guess, 2,000, 3,000 comedy shows across India. We produce a few other shows in various countries. There is no continent on this planet where we haven't produced stand-up comedy shows yet. So,
So,
except Antarctica, obviously. So,
yeah.
otherwise, yeah.
Um, can you describe your job? Because so far we had people who are working as social media manager, people who are who run the agencies, who are the director of the agency, but we didn't have a digital strategist. So can you describe a little bit about your job?
So basically, my job is to look after the health of all the social medias of our artists who we manage. I make sure that they have a good content strategy place. I also make sure that we digitally market their shows. We make sure that you know the profiles are always healthy and happy. They don't do anything that triggers the Instagram algorithm or YouTube algorithm, and which Instagram obviously denies, but they do shadow ban people for spamming and stuff, and which usually an average user is not aware of. So being able to tell the artist ki this is what needs to be done, this is what Instagram algorithm might treat as spam, So all of these things I basically look after for every artist that we manage.
Okay, okay. So today, when we talk about influencer, basically we talk about Instagram and TikTok. According to the
Uh,
latest, yeah, so according to the latest study from the Influencer Marketing Hub, I think that
mhm.
TikTok has reached an organic rate from 3 to 9%, which
Yeah,
is pretty impressive. And we already know that Instagram generates the most average interactions per 1,000 followers compared with the interactions that a brand can get from on Facebook. So,
yeah.
can you tell me how do you find the best influencers for your brands? Can you describe the process of finding the best influencer you would like to work with?
I would totally avoid TikTok because TikTok has been banned in India given the
Yeah.
recent political developments. But I can rest assured I can help you with Instagram.
Yes.
Uh, Before I begin, like what comes to our minds when we say an influencer? Over the period of human evolution, like humans have been influenced by political leaders, religious leaders, kings, queens, actors. You know, there are each and everything that happens around us influences us in a way or the other.
Yeah.
But now, given the society that we live in today, the digital age that we are slowly going into, so influencers are someone who what Google basically gives us the definition is someone who has a trust relationship with their audiences. So I guess that is not entirely true because there can be two types of influencers. One can be a good influencer, another can be a bad influencer. Remember when you were a child, your mom usually used to tell you that, "Hey, don't play with that kid. He is a bad influence. That girl is a bad influence on you." So even my mom used to say that she said that she poorly didn't know that I was the bad influence on other kids. So this happens, yeah. So
Yeah.
for any brand, when you are getting any brief from any brand, you need to know what the brand is looking for.
Yeah.
If you are not aware of the target group that the brand is looking for, you will in turn, in a way, give them an influencer who is a bad influencer for them. So suppose now, for example, if uh, a brand comes to me and he says, ki, "Hey, I am making these soybean cakes, and these are healthy alternative to normal cakes, and I want to sell them to people. How do I go about it?" Now I can't go to gamers and tell them to promote my cupcakes in front
Yeah.
of other kids who are gaming. Maybe a Monster Energy can work there, Red Bull can work there, something that gamers might like. But for me to sell a cupcake, I'll basically look for various cooking channels first of all. So that's
Yeah.
where you need to begin. You need to have a root profile,
Yeah.
which you think has the exact target group that you want to target. If that is not the case, you will obviously fail in your endeavor totally.
Yeah. So
So, yeah, please. Yeah, Adina, please. You were
yeah,
saying?
so basically you have to analyze the content over a longer period of time.
Yes. So, analyzing the content comes at a later part. First, you need to be sure the kind of niche you want to target.
Yeah.
Once you are sure the kind of niche you want to target, you can just basically figure out top 3 to 4 accounts who are doing extremely good in that particular niche. Once you have that, so I can share my screen, right?
Yes, you have the option to share a screen.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Chrome tab, Chrome screen share. Is it visible?
Yeah, right now it should be visible.
Okay,
But
okay.
you have to
So,
select.
is it not on the Instagram page?
You have to select the browser, the tab that you like to to track. The tab that you like
Okay.
to share.
Tab, Chrome tab. Yeah. So I just searched cooking and I came to this channel randomly. Now, if you see these suggested channels that Instagram shows you, if I just click on this, I'll get around 80 different pages, which are similar accounts of the account that we are selecting right now. So we basically have to go through uh, each profile manually, which can be a hectic task. So to avoid this, what we usually do is, okay, how do I stop sharing? Okay, yeah. So what we basically do is we calculate the content quality factor of each profile before we basically go and analyze the profile. So what do I mean by content quality factor?
Yeah,
Content quality factor is something that, it will be variable. The formula will vary from brand to brand. In content quality factor, what we do is we analyze the profile through various tracking tools like Socialinsider, uh, Social Blade, then Inflates, Ingrammer, and other such tracking softwares where we get a basic idea of the number of posts that are being done by the profile, like how many photos we are posted, how many videos we are posted. Now in videos, we can say IGTV was posted, Reels was posted, and a normal Instagram video post was posted. Right. So once you have a basic idea of the engagement that you get on each type of post, you can easily calculate the content quality factor depending on the weights that you give to each weightage you give to each type of post. Now, I personally prefer people who create video content any day over people who just click random images of themselves wearing different clothes in front of different backgrounds and post them. I'm sorry, I don't want to offend anyone, but I personally myself, as a digital strategist, would prefer someone who can express their opinions on social media.
yeah,
So in a way, the influence that they have on their audience will be far more than someone who is just posting random images of themselves. Is
yeah, and
obviously,
also
yeah.
we know that Facebook and Instagram already pushed creators to create more and more videos to get higher engagement rates. So basically, if
Yes.
you don't see this type of content on an influencer account, um, I think the results will not be the one that you are expecting.
Yes, because it's human nature. Today we have outsourced thinking in the digital age. Everybody wants to tell someone to tell them how to think, what to think. So this is sad, but this is the reality of today's world that we live in,
Yeah,
and this is where influencers come in, and this is where the good influencer and the bad influencers come in.
yeah,
If you might have seen the Joaquin Phoenix movie of Joker, he influences people to create riots on the streets. So that is a bad influence that someone can have on people. And there are other people who influence people to take action against global warming, to take action against climate change. There are people who take action, who influence people to take action against racism, casteism. So there is various types of influence that you can have on people.
yeah,
So this is where the good influencer and the bad influencer things comes in. So
yeah,
once you have calculated the content quality factor, now you have to look at, if you go through like say 2000 accounts that you found through suggested accounts and you scrape them somehow. Now I'm not going to go into how to do that, but if you do that and you go through each and calculate content quality factor of each of them, then what you need to do is you need to find out the variance and the probability distribution of how any post that is posted on that particular account will perform. If if your if your probability distribution is, so how do I explain it? Average likes, average comments, average engagement doesn't matter,
Yes.
because uh, now for a sponsored post, the way people will engage is way different than people would engage with a normal post of any influencer, because a content piece and a sponsored content piece both have different effects on people.
Yes.
And people also realize ki somehow, and today we have to mention that it is a sponsored post, it was in paid partnership with someone and someone. So
Yeah.
people obviously tend to skip that, thinking that it's an ad.
Yeah.
So this is where you need to know ki if any post is being posted on this profile, this is the minimum engagement that I can expect,
Okay.
right? If you are not able to calculate the minimum engagement that you can expect, then I guess you are playing a blind shot totally. And once you are sure, many people would claim that they get around 100 k views on 200k views on their normal post, but once they post a sponsored post, that might drop down to say 10k or 20k suddenly. So this is where you need to know the variance and the probability distribution of the entire profile
Yeah.
for at least the last, I guess, 3 months or 6 months. 6 months. If that is
Yes.
not
Yes.
being done, then you are just taking a blind guess and fooling yourself and your brand as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be able to just justify the spends that justify the cost that any influencer is asking you, these are the strong points that you should, and you or your representative should have in their hands, and should know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, you are looking at the content strategy. You are looking at the minimum and the maximum engagement that you can get from that influencer, and you take a look at the distribution over time. While the campaign is rolling out, how much time do you spend on tracking real time metrics?
So
And
uh, if you do this process completely right, you don't have to track your campaign in real time, I guess,
okay,
because see, shelf life of Instagram is pretty small, like 24 hours is the max shelf life that any post will get.
yeah,
That is how Instagram AI has been designed.
yeah,
So we usually wait for 72 hours after the campaign rolls out. We see the how many like we go through each post, see the amount of engagement that we have got. We go ask the influencer to share screenshots of their backend of that particular post and get the reach and impressions. So yeah, that if you do the earlier process, I guess you will already know the amount of engagement that you are going to get. Anything above that will be your bonus.
okay. So when the
So yeah,
campaign,
sorry, I missed one point. In
yeah,
real-time tracking, what you can do is if you are using any particular hashtag, then you can track that hashtag in real time to know the user-generated content that has been created.
yeah,
If your influencer marketing campaign is not producing user generated, is not triggering user generated content, then I guess it was a failed campaign at the end of the day.
okay.
So if
Basically, this is the only metric that matters in real
uh,
time. The
yes,
mentions that the brand gets
yes,
during the campaign.
yes, and ROI is something that the brand will never share with you, because that is their internal matter. And but if the brand comes back to you again and again, then you are doing the job right, I guess.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Of course.
So if I can share one thing, I okay, wait, share window. Yeah. So this is an example of what this is a page from the report that we just sent to one of our clients. So the part which you see has been blacked out is the hashtag.
Yeah,
So the campaign we did was on 23rd and 24th of July. This is a screenshot of Social Insider page, Social Insider platform where I am tracking a hashtag,
Yeah.
right? So this is the publishing behavior of the hashtag. If you see, our campaign rolled out on 23rd and 24th of July. We made around 20 uh, and 20 posts each day using 40 different influencers. If you see from 25th on 26th, there were not a good number of posts, but suddenly that graph jumps to 43, 62, and 68,
Yeah.
because now each and every you know am I still sharing my screen? No, right? Yeah.
No, you.
Yeah. So once all the other users start to recognize the pattern, they also will want to create similar content.
Yeah.
So if that curve doesn't come after your influencer marketing campaign, you are doing something wrong.
Okay. So you show us a little bit about the report that you are sending to your client once the campaign is over. Can you tell us what are the most important metrics to include in this type of reports?
So if you look at brands today, they are evolving. They have realized that if they are spending money, uh, they are not just spending it for views and impressions, because if they wanted that, they would have just simply hired a guy, hired a person and said, okay, I'm giving you so and so much amount of money, put it in Google ads and Facebook ads and give me this much amount of reach and this much amount of
Yeah.
impressions. As
Yeah.
I said earlier, before we like when we begin, uh, uh, brand is looking for a relationship with the audiences.
On a longer time.
So
Yes.
yes, so brand will always value comments and
Mm-hmm.
engagement, and comment is the most important part that the brand will value,
Yeah.
because comments is something, is the biggest engagement that anyone can get. Shares is
Yeah.
obviously bigger, but you can't track shares unless the uh, uh, the influencer themselves send you the back end screenshots of their profile.
Yeah, yeah, and
But
also the comments shows you how the people perceive the brand, what are the sentiment for the audience have for the
yes,
that specific brand. Yeah,
yes, true. So other than that, like, engagement is everything that the brand is looking for nowadays. And at first, like, brands were pretty happy, like brands, I would say, serious brands who actually know how influencer campaigns work will always prefer engagement over views and impressions, because views and impressions is something that you can get easily through Google ads or Facebook ads. And yeah, if you are doing your job right and you are targeting the right people, you will obviously get return on investment and get good conversions. But that is
yeah,
not something that the brand is looking for here,
yeah, yeah,
because brand can put so much money into influencer marketing, they can create a great video for their ad and just
yeah,
put it in Google ads and Facebook ads. But
yeah,
brand
yeah,
is right now looking at paying the influencer to each influencer to create different type of content, which is catering to their particular audiences, in a way building relationship with the audience, with the influencer as a mediator.
okay. So you said that so you said that you evaluate the comments, you evaluate the shares, and or the total engagement in general, and I think that the
Yeah.
average engagement in particular. There is anything else that you are looking at when analyzing the content from the influencers, especially when we are talking about videos, because most of the content on Instagram is video, even if we talk about feeds, stories, lives, reels, IGTV, most of the content is video from the
Yeah.
influencers.
Yeah.
Do
Uh,
you look at other metrics than the ones that you already shared?
I guess there is nothing else that you can look at except reach and impressions, right? Because and that is not something the brands are expecting from you.
Okay.
Now, like good brands are not expecting reach and impressions at the end of the day. They want engagement and they want people to connect with them with you know where they trust the brand blindly. It's like you might have seen Chelsea versus Man U fight against each other, like at football stadiums, Chelsea, Man U, and then people beating up each other once they lose or once they win. So that is the kind of influence that the brand is looking to have over their followers. Like Apple users will any day. Be like, hey, I'm Apple, I use Apple, and BlackBerry will be like, BlackBerry is better. Apple will be like, Apple is better. So,
Yeah.
the this is not Steve Jobs and the owner of BlackBerry fighting against each other.
Yeah.
It's two people who are using that product fighting against each other. You
Yeah.
know. And now
Yeah.
I'm not influencing people to fight against each other, but I'm just telling you the way
Yeah.
people think, and this is what the brand is looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have to mention, and you already show the way you are using Social Insider, and I have to mention that Only Much Louder is one of our clients. You said that you use Social Blade. There are any other tools that you are using when tracking influencer campaigns?
Yeah, not tracking influencer campaigns because, as I said, Social Insider pretty well does the job of tracking the hashtag.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I don't know if it's the right approach, but I don't track real time analytics after the campaign has rolled out because of the process that I follow prior to going into the campaign.
Because you
And
are
I pretty
because you are the strategist, and of course you have to do all the job before the campaign is rolling out.
Yes, yes. So I pretty much have a idea of how the content is going to perform, and that obviously doesn't work 100% of the time. But there are various factors that can affect your strategy because digital media is totally it's constantly changing, and you have to keep on adapting to stuff. But yeah, basically, once you do that, I guess real time tracking is not necessary for
Hmm.
Instagram at least. Maybe
Yeah.
for YouTube that might be because the shelf life of an asset on YouTube is way longer than the shelf life on Instagram. Because Instagram just values the post for like 24 hours at the max.
Yeah, yeah. Because of the ephemeral content that everyone is
Yeah,
creating on Instagram, it's difficult to track on real time.
true.
Great, great. So thank you so much for sharing the way you are working at Only Much Louder, and what metrics do you follow? What kind of reports do you send to your clients? And to describe what a digital strategist means. Thanks everyone for watching this webinar. Um, and if you have questions, you can, if you watch later this webinar, you can ask questions in the comments, and we'll get back to you. I have to mention that next month we are going to. It will be another type of webinar. We are going to show you a new product feature that will be released in September. Actually, this month. I forgot that today is the first. It's September 1st. So yeah, the next webinar will be in 2 weeks, and we'll talk about a new feature that we're going to release in the following weeks. Thank you so much, Akshay, for being with me today and for being with us today. And yeah, hope that it's more clear for everyone how to work with influencers and how to track the campaigns. Thank you.
Thank you.